There are levels to life. And then there are rise people above those levels. They don't react. They don't break. Because they've built something inside that the world can't touch. These 7 habits, they don't just make you strong. They make you mentally untouchable. You see, most people are running from pain, silent lives, addicted to noise, to comfort, to validation. But the untouchable ones, they sit with discomfort. They look it in the eye and say, "You're not stronger than me." Their mornings aren't chaotic. They're crafted intentionally. They don't grab the phony, they grab control of the day, of their thoughts, of their identity. Because here's the truth, no one wants to hard mental strength is not a gift. It's a decision, one that you make every single day. The world will always test you. It will lie to betray you, mock you. But these people, they don't flinch. Because the armor they wear isn't made of steel, it's made of self-respect, boundaries, and brutal consistency. So if you're tired of being shaking, if you're done breaking every time life throws a punch up, lean in. These 7 habits will change how you walk, think, and lead. Let's begin. Most people live at the mercy of everything around them. What someone said, what someone did, what they fear might happen. They react like leaves in the wind, tossed, pulled, broken by forces they never learned to control. But a rare few, they build a fortress from within, brick by brick, habit by habit. They don't flinch. They don't fold, not because life is easier for them, but because they trained for the storm while everyone else waited for sunshine. They've learned the hardest lesson, that peace isn't given, it's built. And you don't build it with noise. You build it with discipline, with stillness, with the kind of self-respect that doesn't need approval to breathe. They don't chase validation. They don't fear solitude. They don't beg life to go easy on them. They prepare for it to get harder and rise anyway. Want to become that rare force. Not someday. Not when life slows down. Now! Master these 7. They talk. You stay focused. Mentally untouchable people don't engage with gossip, drama, or digital noise. Because when your mind is sharp, distractions feel like dust. They've learned the difference between reacting and responding. They feel everything, the tension, the pressure, the sting of words left unsaid, but they respond to almost nothing. Because energy is currency, and they spend it like it's gold. They know not everything deserves a reply. Not every opinion needs to be corrected. Not every battle is worth their breath. While others get pulled into arguments, they stay still, rooted in purpose. They've mastered silence, not the kind that hides weakness, but the kind that commands respect. It's not that they don't feel anger, sadness, or doubt. It's that they own it. They don't let it spill into places it doesn't belong. That's power. Not loud, not showy, but unwavering. While the world spins in chaos, they move with clarity. Before the world wakes up, they win. While most are still lost in dreams, they're already shaping reality. Their morning isn't random, it's ritual. There's no snooze button, no scrolling, no chaos, because they know. How you start your day is how you command your life. They move in silence. They train. They breathe with intention. No one sees the inner work. No one claps for it. But this is where the battle is won. In the quiet, unseen hours where the mind is forged. While others wake up to the world's noise, news feeds, messages, opinions, pressure, these individuals build armor. They prime their thoughts before the world poisons them. They choose their mood, their mission, their mindset, before anyone else gets a say. Because mental strength doesn't come from reacting, it comes from creating. And in the morning, that's when the mentally untouchable create who they become. Every single day. Comfort is a cage. It feels safe until it steals your strength. Most people sit inside it their whole lives, wondering why they feel stuck. But mental untouchable people, they do hard things on purpose, not to suffer, not to impress, but to become immune to fear. They run toward resistance. They put themselves in the cold, in the silence, in the fire, because they know growth never happens in comfort. Comfort numbs you. It whispers, "You're fine right here." But they don't listen. They train their minds to choose challenge over ease, discipline over dopamine, action over excuses. When most people quit at discomfort, they begin that workout they don't want to do, that hard conversation they're afraid to have, that discipline no one sees but they feel. Each rep, each step, each sacrifice breaks the chains of comfort. And every day they do the hard thing, they get stronger than the day before. Not fearless, but unshaken. Most minds are junkyards, cluttered with headlines, gossip, outrage, and distraction. They scroll endlessly, consume carelessly, and wonder why their thoughts are heavy, chaotic, unclear. But mentally tough people, they're gatekeepers. They don't just let anything in. They consume truth, not noise. Wisdom, not trends. Perspective, not panic. While others binge on dopamine and drama, they feed their minds with knowledge, book silence, nature. They study not to look smart, but to think clearly, because they know your outputs, your actions, decisions, are only as clean as your inputs. Garbage in, confusion, insecurity, weakness out. But when you upgrade your inputs, when your mind is fed with strength, order, and clarity, your outputs transform. You respond with calm. You move with intention. You choose with wisdom. Mentally untouchable people treat their minds like sacred ground. They protect it, curate it, sharpen it, because they know greatness begins with what you feed your mind. Excuses are weak people's currency. Cheap, easy overused. They trade them for comfort and call it life. It's not my fault. I didn't have time. I wasn't ready. But the mentally untouchable, they burn their excuses like dead weight. They don't point fingers. They point inward. They own everything. Their pain of its short lives, their habits, their failures, theirs, and that's why they rise. Because ownership is the first step to power. When you stop blaming, you start building. You stop waiting and you start moving. You stop avoiding and you face the thing no one else will. The untouchable don't whine. They adapt. They don't stall at setbacks, they study them. Because every mistake is feedback and every consequence is a mirror. This isn't about guilt. It's about grit. Because when you take responsibility for everything, you take control of anything. And that's when the world starts to feel different. Not because it changed, but because you did. But they don't fear being alone. They seek it, because in a world addicted to noisy, solitude is a superpower. While the world chases crowds, applause, and constant connection, they retreat. Not to escape the world, but to remember who they are without it. In solitude, they hear their true voice, unfiltered of its short life, uninfluenced. It's where clarity is born, where priorities sharpen, where their next move becomes undeniable. Mentally untouchable people don't fear being misunderstood. They fear becoming deluded. And nothing strengthens identity like time alone with your own thoughts. No validation, just presence. It's where they process pain, craft vision, and return to the world, not seeking to fit in, but to lead. Because silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. And the people who can sit with themselves are the ones the world can't shake. It's not what you do once. It's who you decide to become. Every single day, anyone can have a good day. Anyone can show up once with fire. But the mentally untouchable, they repeat who they are, relentlessly. Not until it feels good. Not until someone notices. Not even till it's true, but until it's unshakable. Because identity is built in the repetition, the small actions, the quiet disciplines, the battles no one sees, but they never skip. They don't fake consistency. They are consistent. They are clarity. They are the storm calm in its eye. And when the world asks, why aren't you breaking? Why aren't you running? They don't need to explain, because their life says it all. They become something solid, rooted. Defined not by what happens to them, but by how they rise through it. So no, it's not about the one win. It's about choosing greatness and choosing it again and again and again until nothing can move you. Because you're no longer pretending. You are it, untouchable. You don't have to fight the world. You only need to win the war inside. The noise, the doubt, the fear, it all begins within. And the ones who rise, it's first, they don't conquer others first. They conquer themselves. These 7 habits, they're not hacks, not shortcuts. They're armor built in silence, layered with discipline, forged through repetition. Most people want change to feel fast, but real change, it feels slow, unseamless. Until one day, you realize nothing breaks you anymore. What used to trigger you? Silence. What used to drain you? Powerless. What used to scare you? No longer in control. Because you didn't just try these habits. You became them slowly. Repeat them relentlessly. And one day, without even noticing, you'll wake up unshaken, calm in chaos, routed in truth, and nothing, no failure, no noise, no one will be able to touch your peace. Which habit hit you the hardest? Drop it in the comments right now. Say it out loud. Own it. That's how change begins. Like this video if you're done playing small and ready to level up. Because of these habits, they don't just change your routine. They record your identity. And if you're serious about building the kind of mind the world can't break, hit that subscribe button. This is just the beginning. Every week, we drop habits, mindset rewires, and mental frameworks that help you build a version of you the world has never seen before. Because listen closely, mental power is the real power. And the stronger your mind gets, the less the outside world can control your life. Let's build that power together.